Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new class. Today's class is going to be about the future tenses. Alright, so first we need to understand what future tenses are. So, the future tenses are the different ways to referring to the future in English. It's that simple. Okay, so for our first subject, we are going to learn about the future simple. It is used for actions decided at the moment of speech, right? So, there are three forms: the affirmative form, the negative form, and the question form, or also called the interrogative form. So, let's analyze it. For the affirmative form, we have the subject plus will plus a verb. For the negative form, we have subject plus will plus not, that makes our subject or our sentence negative, plus a verb. And then for our interrogative form, we use will plus subject plus a verb. Let's see some examples. Alright, so for our affirmative form, we have I will go to Thailand, right? So, first we have to analyze what is our subject, right? So, I is our subject in this sentence. Then we have will, and as the form said before, you add a verb. So, where is the verb? It's go, right? So, the affirmative form is I will go to Thailand. For the negative form, it's exactly the same, and just look for what makes a sentence a negative. The not, right? Then, for the question, or the interrogative form, you always have will in the beginning. So it's will plus the subject plus the verb. So will you go to Thailand? And these are the examples. Super easy. As you can see, this first topic is really easy. But let's continue with the next one, which I know you will understand. Alright, so for this next topic, we're going to talk about the future continuous, right? So the future continuous has 7 different uses, and I'm going to try to explain the 7 types, right? So the first one is to describe interrupted actions in the future. 2. Express actions in progress at a specific time in the future. 3. Refer to actions that are happening now and expected to continue sometime in the future. 4. Ask questions politely about the future. 5. Emphasis of future plans and intentions. 6. Describe atmosphere in the future. 7. Express parallel actions of series of parallel actions in the future. I know it sounds very complicated, but it is actually very easy. Alright, so now let's look at the form. So we have the affirmative form, negative form, and the interrogative form, right? So the affirmative form is the subject plus will plus be plus a verb ending in ing. I know it sounds like a poem and I just rapped, but that's how it is. Okay, so now the negative form is very simple. It's just like the last one. How do you know that a sentence is negative or a question is in negative form? You use not. Very simple, very easy, right? Very straightforward. So you have a subject plus will plus not plus be and ending with a verb in ing, right? Then you have your interrogative form. Very easy. It's will plus a subject plus be plus verb ing, right? Okay, so that's it for the form. So now we're going to see some examples. Alrighty, so for our first example, we said that the first use for future continuous is to describe interrupted actions in the future. So number 1 is an example of that. It says, when you come tomorrow, they will be playing tennis, right? So It's very simple. Then, for the next one, number 2, it says the use is to express actions in progress at a specific time in the future. So, for example, at 12 o'clock tomorrow, we will be having lunch at school. Right? Very easy. Then, number 3 says refer to actions that are happening now and expected to continue sometime in the future. So it says, number 3 as an example, unfortunately, sea levels will still be rising in 20 years. Okay? Then number 4 is ask questions politely about the future. So number 4, the example is, will you be bringing your friend to the party tonight? It's very, very polite, right? Then number 5, emphasize of future plans and intentions. So for example, he'll be coming to visit us next week. Number 6, it says describe atmosphere in the future. So for example, when I arrive at the party, somebody will be celebrating. Some will be dancing. Others will be talking. Super easy, right? Then number 7. This one's the very, very confusing one, but it's super easy. I know you can do it. So number 7 says, express parallel actions or series of parallel actions in the future. So for example, she will be watching TV and he will be cooking dinner. Right? So they're both happening at the same time, but they're parallel. Now, let's move on to the future perfect. It's easy, and I'm sure you will understand it. Alright, so first you want to understand how is the future perfect used, right? So, the future perfect is a verb tense used for actions that will be completed before some other point in the future. I know, right? It sounds super confusing and oh my god, I'm losing my mind. No, calm down. Everything's okay. I'm gonna help you. So, first, let's look at the form, right? So, first you have your subject, then you have your auxiliary verb, then you have, and then you use the past participle of the main verb, right? Perfect. Then you have the negative form, which is the subject, the auxiliary, plus not, plus have, plus the past participle of the main verb. Right? We're good up until there? Great. Then, for the interrogative form, we have a WH question word, plus the auxiliary, plus the subject, plus have, plus the past participle of the main verb. Alrighty, so now let's move on to some examples. Okay, so for our first example of the future perfect, we have one in the affirmative form, right? So it says, Linda will have left before you get there. Then for the negative form is, they will not have finished decorating the floats before the parade. And for the interrogative form, we have, will you have eaten lunch already when we arrive? So it's super easy to understand. Just analyze it using the formula, and I know you will understand it. Alrighty, now let's move on to the perfect continuous. I know it might be a little confusing, but I know you will understand it, and it's super easy. So let's get on with it. Okay, so how do we use the future perfect continuous? We use this tense to talk about events with a connection to the present, right? It's very confusing, but let's do this. It suggests that something is unfinished, talks about how long something has been happening, okay? So we have the affirmative form, negative form, interrogative form, exactly the same as the other ones, right? So we have the subject plus will or shall plus have plus been plus a base verb in ing. Then we have the interrogative form, which is the subject plus will or shall plus not plus have plus been plus a base verb in ing. Then the interrogative form is will or shall plus subject plus have plus been plus a base verb ending in ing. Let's see some quick examples. Okay, so we have an example in the affirmative form. In November, I will have been working at my company for 3 years. For the negative form, we have I won't have been living in Mexico. And for the interrogative form, when I come at 6, will you have been practicing long? Well, I really hope you learned a lot in this class. I hope you understood the future tenses. So, thank you for watching, and I'll be waiting for you on the next course.